Did you know that there is a sacred object capable of protecting your home against any attack from evil? Many people have it in their homes without understanding its true power, and even worse, those who do not possess it are leaving open a dangerous door to negative forces that can affect their lives and those of their loved ones. If lately you feel that problems are piling up, that peace in your home has been replaced by arguments, illnesses, or worries, pay attention, because this message can change everything. Padre Pio, known for his miracles and his deep spiritual vision, warned us about the power of the Holy Rosary. It is not just a religious accessory or a simple object hanging on the wall out of tradition, but rather a divine tool, a shield of protection, a true weapon capable of blocking any evil that tries to enter your home. However, here is the most important part. Many people possess it, but they do not use it as they should, and those who do not have it unknowingly are leaving their families unprotected. Do you want to know how the Rosary can transform your life and that of your family? How can you close the doors to evil and open a path of peace and blessing? Before continuing, if you also believe in the power of the Holy Rosary, write in the comments, "I trust," and stay until the end, because I am going to reveal how Padre Pio taught how to use this sacred weapon in the right way. But everything starts with a decision. If you do not yet have a rosary, this is the moment to get one. And if you already have one, make sure you are using it as God and Padre Pio taught us. What I'm about to share with you can change everything. Today, more than ever, this warning takes on a special meaning in a world where homes are under constant spiritual attack, where families fall apart for no apparent reason, and where anxiety and fear seem to dominate our lives. The words of Padre Pio resonate with extraordinary urgency. What I am about to tell you is not just words of encouragement, but deep revelations that Padre Pio received through his mystical experiences, confirmed by supernatural events that he himself witnessed. These are experiences that demonstrate how a simple rosary in your home can trigger a series of changes that will completely transform your life. But let me warn you about something. This message is not for everyone. It is for those who are truly willing to take the spiritual protection of their family seriously. For those who understand that in these difficult times, we need to hold on to the spiritual tools that God and the Virgin Mary have placed at our disposal more firmly than ever. Stay until the end, because I'm going to reveal not only what happens when you have a rosary in your home, but also the consequences of not giving it the importance it deserves. Furthermore, I will share with you the supernatural experiences that Padre Pio had with the rosary, and how these experiences can help you turn your home into an impregnable spiritual fortress. What I am about to tell you now is something that Padre Pio personally lived during his years in the convent of San Giovanni Rotondo. Few people know that this saint spent entire nights in spiritual battle, facing attacks that very few could even imagine. And do you know what his main weapon was? Exactly, the Holy Rosary. On a particularly difficult night, when the forces of evil attacked him with extraordinary intensity, Padre Pio had a shocking vision. Every Hail Mary he prayed turned into an arrow of light that pierced through the spiritual darkness, and each bead of the rosary shone like a star, creating a protective shield around him. This is not just a metaphor. It was a real experience that he himself described to his closest collaborators. However, the most impressive thing was not his own experiences, but what he observed in the homes of families who followed his advice about the rosary. Padre Pio possessed the gift of bilocation and spiritual discernment, which allowed him to see far beyond what human eyes can perceive. Beyond the physical, Padre Pio could perceive something astonishing. The homes where the rosary was not only present, but prayed with devotion developed a kind of spiritual force field. For him, the rosary was like a spiritual lightning rod, a comparison that could not be more precise. Just as a lightning rod protects a house from strikes during a storm, the rosary acts as a conduit of divine protection, diverting and neutralizing the negative influences attempting to penetrate our homes. But there is something even deeper that Padre Pio observed, and that few people know. When a family has a rosary in their home and uses it with faith, it creates what he called a direct connection with the heart of Mary. This connection is not just a symbol or metaphor, but a real channel of graces and blessings that constantly flow into the home and its inhabitants. Throughout his ministry, he witnessed countless transformations in families who followed this advice. Homes that were once filled with conflict began to experience an inexplicable peace. People who lived with anxiety and constant fears found a tranquility that no medication had ever given them. However, here comes an important warning. Padre Pio also observed with concern what happened in homes where the rosary was treated as a mere decoration or charm. He repeatedly and firmly stated that the rosary is not a lucky charm, but a powerful spiritual instrument that requires our active participation. This distinction is crucial to understanding what really happens when a rosary is kept in a home. In a moment, I will reveal exactly what Padre Pio observed in the homes where the rosary was ignored or misused. But first, it is essential that you recognize 3 unmistakable signs that indicate whether your rosary is acting as a true protective shield in your home. These signs are so clear that once you know them, you will be able to immediately identify whether your house is receiving all the protection that the rosary can offer. Padre Pio identified 3 signs that manifest in homes where the rosary acts with its full power. The first is what he called supernatural peace. This is not simply a feeling of calm, but a tangible manifestation of the presence of the Virgin Mary in the home. It is characterized by 3 clear manifestations. First, an inexplicable peace that remains even in the midst of the most severe crises. Second, a sense of spiritual security that envelops the entire family. And third, a notable decrease in the anxiety and fears that once seemed to dominate the household environment. The second sign is the transformation of the spiritual atmosphere. Padre Pio explained that when the rosary is fully active, the environment of the home changes radically. The air becomes lighter, tensions decrease without any apparent reason, and a protective presence can almost be felt. Family members begin to notice that arguments lose their intensity before escalating, as if an invisible force were neutralizing negative energies. Before revealing the third sign, which completes Padre Pio's teachings on the Rosary, I need to share something important with you. Over the years, his deepest teachings on the power of the Rosary have been collected and studied, many of which are so extensive and detailed that it is impossible to cover them all in a single message. That is why something special has been created for those who wish to delve deeper into this sacred knowledge. The Spiritual Secrets of Saint Padre Pio, a digital book that gathers his most valuable teachings on the power of the Rosary and the spiritual protection of the home. This book is not just a compilation of prayers, but a complete guide that includes his teachings on the different types of protection the Rosary provides, specific prayers he recommended for various family situations, spiritual techniques to maximize its protective power, blessing and consecration rituals for the home, and documented testimonies of family transformations. It is available through the link in the pinned comments. But let's return to the main topic. The third and most powerful sign is what Padre Pio described as the shield of light. This manifestation presents itself in 3 distinct ways. The first is an extraordinary protection against negative spiritual influences. People who live in a home where the Rosary is prayed with devotion begin to notice that spiritual disturbances, unexplained fears, and oppressive sensations gradually disappear. The second way this shield manifests is through divine intervention. Homes where the Rosary is prayed with faith become more resilient. This protection is demonstrated in 3 ways. First, by strengthening family harmony and the ability to face difficulties with greater serenity. Second, through providential interventions that prevent accidents or dangerous situations. And third, by a mysterious capacity for discernment that helps the family make the right decisions at crucial moments. However, it is essential to understand that these signs do not appear automatically. It is not enough to simply have a rosary in the home. It must be activated correctly. Padre Pio warned that many families, without knowing it, are blocking these blessings by not following the proper instructions. In the next few minutes, you will discover exactly what you need to do to make your rosary become the protective shield that Padre Pio described. But first, it is crucial to understand the spiritual consequences of having a rosary at home and not using it correctly. This warning is so serious that it could explain why some families, despite possessing several rosaries, continue to experience spiritual disturbances and cannot find the peace they seek. We now arrive at one of Padre Pio's most severe warnings about the rosary. According to him, having a rosary in the home without using it properly is not a neutral act. It has spiritual consequences that cannot be ignored. The first warning refers to what he called blocked protection. When the rosary becomes just a decorative object hanging on the wall and covered in dust, it creates a paradoxical situation. That same instrument that should be a channel of protection turns into a constant reminder of the graces we are rejecting. It is like having a powerful shield, but keeping it stored away while facing daily battles unprotected. The second warning is even more alarming. Padre Pio explained that the enemy of souls has a specific tactic: to make families feel secure simply because they have a rosary at home, even if they do not use it. This false sense of security is extremely dangerous because it makes us lower our spiritual guard. It is like believing we are protected just because we have a fire extinguisher in the house, without knowing how to use it or checking if it actually works. The third warning refers to what he described as lost opportunities. Every time we walk past a rosary without using it, every day we let pass without taking advantage of its power, we are losing specific graces that the Virgin Mary wishes to pour upon our family. These graces are not abstract, but concrete help for the problems we face daily. Padre Pio insisted that an unused rosary becomes a silent witness to our spiritual indifference. He observed that in many homes, the rosary is present, but the family continues to suffer from spiritual disturbances because they have fallen into what he called the trap of habit, seeing the rosary every day without recognizing its true power. However, here comes the hopeful part of his message. These consequences can be reversed immediately. No matter how long the rosary has been unused in your home, its protective power can be activated the moment you decide to give it the importance it deserves. The Virgin Mary is waiting for this moment to unleash a torrent of blessings upon your family. In the next few minutes, I will reveal exactly how you should place and use the rosary in your home to maximize its protective power. Padre Pio left very specific instructions on this subject, and when families follow them, the results are extraordinary. But before that, you need to understand something crucial about the power of the rosary in the times we are living in. Padre Pio had a prophetic vision of our era. He warned that a time would come when families would face unprecedented spiritual attacks, an age in which faith and divine protection would be more necessary than ever. Confusion, fear, and division are attempting to destroy the peace of homes, just as Padre Pio predicted with astonishing accuracy. Today, more than ever, homes are under attack in ways that he described with great clarity. Anxiety has become a silent epidemic. Family conflicts increase without apparent reason. Depression and discouragement knock on more doors every day, and spiritual disturbances have become so frequent that many consider them a normal part of life. It is in this context that the power of the rosary becomes more necessary than ever. Padre Pio explained that the rosary is not just a prayer, but a true instrument of spiritual power, specifically designed for difficult times. Its protection operates on 3 levels. First, it acts on the physical environment of the home. When placed and used correctly, it creates what he called a field of peace that neutralizes negative energies trying to enter the house. It is as if each Hail Mary prayed strengthens an invisible barrier around it. Second, it protects the minds and hearts of the household members. In an era where fear and anxiety spread like a virus, the rosary acts as a spiritual filter, purifying thoughts and calming emotions. Padre Pio observed that those who live in homes where the rosary is prayed regularly develop a remarkable resistance to negativity and discouragement. And third, it provides indispensable family protection. In a time when forces of division constantly attack families, the rosary becomes a bond of unity, what he called a fabric of grace that keeps family members united, even when external forces attempt to separate them. But there is something fundamental you must understand. The power of the rosary is not activated automatically. There is a specific way to place it and a precise method to use it for its protection to be maximized. Soon, you will discover exactly how to do this by following the instructions Padre Pio left for families. These are not mere suggestions, but guidelines based on his profound understanding of the spiritual power of this sacramental. The first instruction concerns the location of the rosary in the home. Padre Pio insisted that the primary rosary should be placed in the spiritual center of the house, which is usually the living room or the space where the family gathers most frequently. It should not be hidden or out of reach, but placed in a visible spot, not as a mere decoration. Ideally, a small altar or sacred space should be created where the rosary holds a prominent place. The second instruction is about activating its protective power. According to Padre Pio, the rosary must be spiritually awakened, meaning it should be blessed by a priest. But more importantly, it must be activated through the faith and devotion of the family. Having it blessed is not enough. It must be touched and used with reverence and confidence on a regular basis. The third instruction focuses on its daily use. Padre Pio insisted that a specific time of day should be set aside to pray the Rosary, even if it is only one mystery. It is better to pray one mystery attentively and with devotion than to rush through the entire Rosary distractedly. Consistency is more important than quantity. He also gave guidance on how to prepare the environment for prayer. The space should be clean and orderly, and if possible, a blessed candle should be lit. The prayer time should be treated as an important appointment with the Virgin Mary, not just another task on the daily to-do list. There is a particular instruction that few people know, which Padre Pio called the family activation of the Rosary. At least once a week, all family members should touch the Rosary while praying a Hail Mary together. This simple act strengthens the connection between the Rosary and family protection. But the final instruction, perhaps the most important, is the one that ultimately seals its power in the home, and you will soon learn about it. The correct spiritual attitude is essential. The Rosary should not be treated as a mere magical charm, but as a direct channel of communication with heaven. Every time you look at it or touch it, you must do so with the awareness that you are in contact with something sacred, a tangible connection that links your home with the heart of Mary. Soon you will discover how these instructions align with the specific promises that Padre Pio made about the power of the Rosary, promises that, when the proper conditions are met, never fail to manifest. We have reached a crucial moment in this revelation, the specific promises that Padre Pio made about the power of the Rosary when used correctly in the home. These are not mere possibilities, but spiritual certainties that he repeatedly observed in families who followed his instructions to the letter. The first promise is immediate protection. Padre Pio assured that from the very first day, a family begins to pray the Rosary with faith, and according to his guidance, an invisible but completely real protective shield is established. This protection is not progressive but instant, as if the simple act of beginning to pray it activates a spiritual switch that ignites a supernatural defense. The second promise is related to family peace. In homes where the Rosary is used correctly, what he called the phenomenon of progressive peace manifests itself. First, you will notice that arguments lose their intensity, as if an invisible force disperses the tension before hurtful words can cause harm. Then, you will observe that moments of conflict resolve more quickly and with less effort. Finally, you will experience a family harmony that once seemed impossible to attain, as if relationships were being reorganized on a new foundation of love and understanding. The third promise concerns the integral prosperity of the home. This is not just about material prosperity, but an abundance that extends to all aspects of family life. When the Rosary becomes the spiritual center of the home, a channel of blessings opens up that transforms everything. Relationships improve, opportunities arise unexpectedly, and problems find solutions with surprising ease. It is as if life flows more harmoniously, as if burdens become lighter and worries lose their weight. The fourth promise is particularly powerful: extended protection. Padre Pio assured that the protective power of the Rosary is not limited to the walls of the home, but follows each family member wherever they go. It is as if every person carries an extension of that protective shield with them, even when they are far from home. Those who pray the Rosary with devotion not only feel this protection in their surroundings, but experience a sense of security and confidence that accompanies them at all times. The fifth promise refers to what Padre Pio called inner transformation. He assured that every person who lives in a home protected by the Rosary will experience a gradual but profound change in their spiritual life. Temptations lose their strength, the right decisions become clearer, and faith strengthens naturally, without forced effort or impositions. It is as if the soul, constantly surrounded by prayer, is slowly molded toward the divine. However, it is crucial to understand that these promises do not activate automatically. It is not enough to have a Rosary at home or to pray it occasionally. They require our active and conscious participation. Soon, I will share with you the final element you need to ensure that these promises fully manifest in your home. This last secret, which Padre Pio only shared with his closest spiritual children, is what he called the secret of transformative perseverance. This is the true key that activates all the power of the Rosary in the home. And although it is so simple that many overlook it, it is the foundation of everything we have discussed so far. It is not just about praying the Rosary daily, but about developing what Padre Pio described as a living relationship with it. Transforming the Rosary from a mere object of devotion into a true spiritual companion for the family is the key to experiencing its power fully. Padre Pio explained that there is a crucial difference between mechanical repetition and loving perseverance. When a family prays the Rosary with love and trust, something extraordinary happens. Each Hail Mary becomes a spiritual brick that strengthens the home's protection, and each day of perseverance adds a new layer of safeguard. This loving perseverance has three essential characteristics Padre Pio emphasized. The first characteristic is unwavering trust. It does not matter whether you see immediate results or not. The key is to maintain faith in the power of the Rosary. It is like planting a tree. Even if you do not perceive its growth daily, the transformation is happening beneath the surface. The second characteristic is conscious attention. Every time you hold the Rosary, do so with the full awareness that you are activating a supernatural power in your home. It is not about the number of Hail Marys prayed, but about the depth and love with which they are recited. The third is family commitment. The whole family must understand that the Rosary is not just mom's devotion or grandma's prayer, but the protective shield of everyone. Each member should participate, even if it is with just one Hail Mary a day. This secret of transformative perseverance is what differentiates the families that experience the full power of the Rosary from those who only see partial results. It is the key that unlocks all the promises that Padre Pio made about its protective power. We have now reached the decisive moment. Everything you have learned today about the Rosary has a purpose: to awaken in you the awareness that you have in your hands an extraordinary tool for spiritual protection. As Padre Pio said, the Rosary is the weapon for these times. Think about your home, your family. How many times have you felt the need for stronger protection? How many times have you longed for more peace, more harmony, more spiritual security? The Rosary that may now be sitting in some corner of your house is the answer to those prayers. We are not living in normal times. Families are under attack like never before. Anxiety, fear, and division seem to multiply day by day. But Padre Pio left us this tool precisely for moments like these. The Rosary is not a relic of the past, but a spiritual weapon designed specifically for the challenges we face today. The time to act is now. Do not wait for difficulties to increase or for spiritual disturbances to intensify. The power of the Rosary is available to you at this very moment. As Padre Pio said, in the Rosary, we find the solution to all our problems. If this message has touched your heart, there are three things you can do right now. First, find the Rosary that you have at home. If you do not have one, get one as soon as possible, because this is the first step in activating its protection in your home. Second, share this message with 3 people who need this protection. In Padre Pio's words, spiritual charity is the most important of all charities. Third, write in the comments, Virgin Mary, protect my home. This act of public faith will activate a stream of special graces for you and your family. The power of the Rosary is not a theory, but a reality, proven by countless families over generations. Padre Pio not only left us these teachings, but a legacy of protection and spiritual power that is available to every home that decides to take it seriously. May the Virgin Mary, through the Holy Rosary, establish a mantle of protection over your home and your family. May every Hail Mary you pray become a shield of light that protects your loved ones. And may the peace that only heaven can give reign in your home from this day forward and forever.